This is where I got a better understanding of delayed gratification. The ability to go purchase something is not real wealth. The ability to go pay for it in cash is real wealth. The mindset that keeps you broke. So I've been doing this for 12 years and I've had the privilege of working with very successful, well-established people. I've seen wealth beyond measure for people that you wouldn't look twice at in the streets. The biggest lesson that I've learned, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. All of this is for you. What you do for yourself is for you. I've found clients that make $500,000 a year to be struggling to pay their monthly property tax bill. I've seen clients that make $100,000 a year, live very comfortably, and will probably retire earlier than necessary. The biggest lesson in all of those scenarios ended up being the financial understanding of your means. Such a simple thing to talk about. Staying within your means, you hear it all the time. What does it mean? So let's break it down. The ability for you to earn your income is not reflective of how wealthy you will live. A lot of people that I've come across tend to want to live a life of luxury, not for themselves, just so they can prove to others what they have. It's a trap. Don't do it. I fell into this trap. Imagine a 23-year-old started to do well, made six figures. My expenses at this point are fairly low, wasn't used to making this kind of money at all in university, and you go from student living to this. All of a sudden, my car doesn't look as new. It's not as updated, doesn't have all the fancy gadgets. I used to drive a 2002 Honda Accord. Started making money, all of a sudden felt the need to have a really fancy car. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go get an Audi. And my parents were actually very supportive. They said, well, you've been working hard. I think you deserve it. Go ahead. Got myself a nice car. Still didn't feel enough because I could afford more. All of a sudden, going to the mall and going to Calvin Klein wasn't enough. Now, I wanted fancier. Started buying branded clothes. Needed expensive watches, and I wanted fancier shoes. All of a sudden my gym equipment went from it being Under Armour to all Lululemon. And you don't realize the upgrades you quietly make in your life and the trap that you're setting for yourself when you're doing that. It's not the $20 shirt compared to a $50 shirt that's gonna make you poor or broke. It's the wardrobe change from the $20 bracket to the $50 or the $100 or the $200 bracket, because the expectations are just more, right? Oh, all of a sudden I don't want to see an Under Armour shirt in my wardrobe. I want everything to be this, and it adds up, right? If you do that across 10 shirts, 10 pair of pants, and you all of a sudden buy all these fancy watches, and watches get exponentially pricey, you fall into this trap. And even though I was making six figures, I wasn't saving anything. The following year came around and I went to go file my taxes. I realized, oh my God, I made quite a bit of money. I wanted to move out. So it had been about a year living with my parents while working. Well, I think I want to buy a place. I don't have any money, but I made a lot of it. So where to go? I had a conversation with my parents to say, hey, I want to move out. What do you guys think? Well, wait until you can buy your own place so you don't have to rent your own place. Oh, I can do rent to own. I can do this. I started justifying to them that I'll eventually have the money. My mentor at that time goes to me, she goes, how much money did you make last year? I tell her the number and she goes, well, after taxes, you should have brought home this much. You live at home. Your car payments are this, your insurance is this. She's very financially sound and she had been in this industry for years. She goes, you should have about this much saved. How much do you have saved? It wasn't even a fraction of that number. And she goes, well, where are you spending it? And the most humiliating answer I had to give her was, I don't know. Came home that day and I go into my room and I'm just looking around. I'm like, oh, I think it's here. And, it's on my dresser with the watches. It's in my closet with the clothes. And that's when I realized I fell into that trap, wanting more simply because I could afford it. So I had to take a step back and reevaluate the priorities at that point. And mind you, this is me at 24 years old, So not much older than when I started, and everyone around you has this image all of a sudden where they're like, well, you do well because we see it on you. Clothes, the watches, the cars. And you feel the need to uphold that image, otherwise it's humiliating, right? So you don't have the humility to say, no, I'm not gonna do this anymore. So you kind of quietly continue that, but you work harder. Start to store a little bit more, not as frivolous, but this time you're quietly conservative because you don't have the humility to say, I'm gonna budget myself. I worked the hardest that year in 2024 because I saw that as an opportunity to say, you know what, I wanna buy myself a place. I had moved out, I was putting a little bit of money aside, I worked really hard. I decided that I was gonna start prioritizing my future. And prioritizing the future means a lot of instant gratification has to take a back seat. So, started saving more. I worked really hard over the next couple years, and by the time I was 25 years old, I was able to buy my first home. And even though I worked hard, saved a lot of money, I still needed a bit of help from my parents to be able to buy the house that I did. Mind you, it was well outside my budget and intention, but it was more strategic because it was a great financial opportunity for a future gain. I'd been looking for homes and we had a budget in mind. I spoke to my uncle, who's my realtor. We kind of planned. I say, hey, we're gonna stick to this. This is what I can afford. This is how much I have. And he randomly calls me while I was at work one day and he goes, hey, I need you to come see this house as soon as possible. This is 2016. I was like, okay. He goes, it's here. And he told me the location of the house, and being in the industry, you're kind of familiar with how much things cost in which area. And I was like, no, those are too expensive. I don't want to do that. And he goes, no, just come see it. We'll talk about the numbers after. I said, okay, no problem. Thought he was being a sales guy, so sure. I show up and it's this 4,000 square foot house mansion, and it's still under construction. And my uncle goes to me, he's like, hey, just hop in through the side door because it's open. Just go see the house, see if you like it. Walked into the house and I was like, holy shit. It's a massive home. It has everything you can possibly imagine. And I was like, well, I want it, but I don't think I can have it. My uncle goes, he's like, well, you don't have to live here long term. You just have to stay here for a couple of years. It'll give you a larger return. So the decision was, okay, fine. How much is it? Literally double the budget that we planned. And I was like, oh, I don't have that money. Don't worry. We can help you out with whatever you need and you can pay me back. Okay, no problem. And I listened to that advice, and that home doubled in value when I walked away from it. So it was a risk well worth taking, but it was more calculated. Let's look back to the mindset shift within myself. 23 years old, make good money, living within my means, but just not planning for anything in the future. A lot of people fall into this trap of you're still making good money, you're living within your means, you want to go out, you want to wear the fancy clothes, you want to drive the nice cars, but you're not planning for your future. And it's not to say you shouldn't live in the now, but you should have an intention behind what you want out of your future self. You want to start a family, you're going to need to house them. Sure, you can rent. Want to have kids? You gotta pay for them. They're expensive. To be able to build for the future, you have to start making sacrifices in the present. The sacrifices can be as simple as, I'm not gonna eat out today. I don't need this piece of clothing. I don't need this fancy jewelry. I don't need to drive this car. Those wants can be fulfilled once you've done the work. Those are your rewards for the hard work that you've put into your life, but they don't need to be in the now. After you have the mindset shift for your future, the focus should be to save. And the advice that you hear everywhere is, hey, you should be saving 10% of your income. Why 10%? Such an arbitrary number. If you make good money, then you should be saving everything you can after what your day-to-day expenses are. And you're not saving for me, you're saving for yourself. You're saving for your future self. You're saving for the tomorrow. And the more you do that, the less you have to do later on in life. And the more exponential and earlier your growth is in your own life. So there's also the trap with saving. After you've done the savings, what do you do with it? Do you just leave it in your bank account and hope that the bank pays you interest on your savings that you get as a 2-3% return? The 2% return isn't going to protect you against the inflation of the economy. If anything, you're losing money. So you have to have discernment, the education, and the understanding of when to take calculated risks. You have to have an understanding of the opportunities that come across you. Saving is just being prepared for the opportunity. Once you have prepared yourself for the opportunity, you have to have the courage to be able to take that risk. So the mindset that's keeping you broke, you're spending all your money, you're not saving, and you're not taking any risks. Let me share a story with you all. 24 years old, I got referred this client. It was actually by the branch advisor. They couldn't help him out, so they said, hey, Harsh specializes in mortgages, see if he can help you with something. So I set up a meeting. This gentleman walks into my office in his mid 50s, a big husky Italian guy, and he goes, the advisor recommended that I meet with you. Apparently you're the guy that can help me figure out this financing scenario. I sit down with him and I ask him the question, like, so what do you do? And he goes, well, I own a roofing company. I also have a development company. I also do framing. I also have a plumbing company. Yeah, I build my own houses. Oh, okay. Taken back a little just by simply him telling me that he owned like these 5 different businesses, and never judge a book by its cover, but just looking at him, I was like, oh, okay. He's wearing this beat up jacket, just jeans, work boots. I asked him, I was like, okay, well, what are you looking for? Well, I have too many houses. They don't want to give me money on another one that I'm trying to build. So I can probably buy it in cash, but I just don't want to. Well, you bought this house that's like $3 million. Yeah, but then I have to get all my money together. So then I go, okay, well, how much money do you have? He goes, well, I have this money, but it's gone here, and this money, it's gone here, and this money, it's gone here. And I was like, oh, well, then I need bank statements to verify all of this. So much wisdom. And he goes to me, Harsh, a rolling stone never collects moss. Do you think I would keep my money in one account? I go, okay, well, I'll see what I can do. We were able to help him out. And then over the process, I had a chance to meet with him numerous times and to kind of have these side conversations about how's life, well, what do you do? And at the tail end of it, I was like, well, sure, I'm glad I was able to help you out. And we just got to chatting as to how he started these businesses. He goes, yeah, I immigrated here about 25 years ago. My first business that I ever started was my roofing business. And then slowly I started looking at all these other guys who were putting up these houses. I said, I can do that, and I could probably do it a little bit better. Over time, he started building businesses to help him build homes. So it's not just that he was a roofer. He bought a plumbing company, and he bought a framing company, and then he got his daughter to be a lawyer to help him do the rezoning for developments. And then I go, okay, well, you did all of this, and you're in your mid 50s, and why are you still doing it? You have so much. You can walk away and live happily ever after. He's like, yeah, but then I'll die. My purpose is to do. And if I'm not doing and I'm not growing, then I'm dying. Then I go, okay, well, where do you live? He told me the location where he lives. I randomly searched it up. It's like a $5 million house. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, but I bought this a long time ago, and over time I just tore it down and built the house by myself, and that's why it is what it is. And then I go, okay, well, what do you drive? He came in this like broken old pickup truck that I guess he uses for his construction business. And as I started talking more and more with him, he goes, yeah, I bought my son and myself a Ferrari as a reward for my 50th. I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, but I wanted to make sure that if I did this one project and it paid me this much profit, then I would reward myself with that. This is where I got a better understanding of delayed gratification. The ability to go purchase something is not real wealth. The ability to go pay for it in cash is real wealth. For him, he didn't buy the car so he would get recognition. He had nothing to prove left. We didn't talk about his wealth or his cars, and even though we went through his whole financial scenario, it's because he didn't feel the need that I needed to know any of that, because all of that, it was the rewards or the fruits of his labor. He mentioned this very simple line. He says, Harsh, I don't need to make noise to be heard. I just need to be me. So I want to help you get out of the mindset of being broke so you can get into the mindset of being successful, which is the reason why I share these stories with you. If you got some value out of this video, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss a video. I'll see you guys in the next